Hyper-V, an hypervisor, is a tool that is needed if you want to virtualize different types of operating system on a Windows host. You may need this tool whether you want to start on a project that requires lots of virtual machines to be created. But how do we actually get this Hyper-V to be enabled on Windows 10? Well, let's go and look at the two methods that I know that is available to enable Hyper-V. There are two ways that I know of that with which you can achieve this. So firstly, let's go and check the version of this window. Right click on Windows PowerShell and run as administrator. Say yes. Let's check this version of Windows 10 by typing in WinVer. As you can see, we have a Windows 10 version 1909. Okay, great. Clear the screen. The first method is to use the Windows PowerShell command. So you type in it like so: enable space Windows optional feature dash online space feature name. So that's feature name space Microsoft Hyper-V then space dash all, and then go ahead and press enter. So when you run this command, it will try to generate the background files and all of the Windows Hyper-V files, and then you would have the version activated on this Windows 10. So one of the things you want to look out for, if this command that you run, if you receive an error message and it says command couldn't be found, make sure that you are running PowerShell as administrator, like I've mentioned in the beginning, because at the end of this process we would perform a reboot once the installation has completed. As you can see, the command are successful and we receive the message, do you want to restart the computer to complete this operation now? Of course, we'll say yes. Once you say yes, then go ahead and press enter. Okay, so once Windows has finished restarted, you now go and check whether your Hyper-V is now being activated on Windows 10. You can bring up a Windows Explorer, this PC, go into local disk and go inside of program files, and you will now notice that a new folder has been added under the program files. It's called Hyper-V. Go ahead and double click on that and open that up. So to create a virtual machine, you will click on vmcreate.exe, right click on that and open. User account control, say yes. Now let me minimize this. So as you can see, we have now successfully activated Hyper-V on Windows 10. So from this prompt, you can start creating as many virtual machines as possible, depending on your needs, and also depending on the environment that you are. If you are on Ubuntu, which is a Linux environment, you will choose this option to create a virtual machine. Since we're going to be, all our tutorial is going to be basically based on Windows 10, we will select Windows 10 and then we will create virtual machines. So I'm going to close this for now because we're not ready to install our virtual machine yet. So let's close that out. The second method that we can use to enable Hyper-V hypervisor on Windows 10 Enterprise is by using the graphical user interface method. So you will go into Windows Cortana and do a search for control panel, and go ahead and launch control panel and click on programs, click on turn Windows features on or off. So click on that. Alright, the Windows features pop-up will appear, and then it may take a little bit to load up the features inside of this. So feel free to expand this and look for the option Hyper-V. So click on the plus sign beside on the left side and check the box beside Hyper-V. Check that box and make sure all of the other boxes below are checked, like the Hyper-V management tools, Hyper-V platforms. They're all checked. If you want to verify, just drop it down and check. Once you have done that, go and click OK, and then once you click OK, your window will try to gather all the files that is necessary for Hyper-V on this window in Windows 10. It will search for all the files and gather them and basically place them in one location so that Hyper-V can be enabled. Once all the files are gathered, Windows will try to apply all the changes to your computer. And once Windows has completed the requested changes, all the Hyper-V settings has been made to your computer, you will need to perform a reboot. So Windows needs to reboot your PC to finish installing the request. Go ahead and click on Restart. Now that the window has finished reboot, we can go and bring up a Windows Explorer to verify the installation VM, whether we have an Hyper-V installed. Go inside the local C drive, go into program files, and there you go. You see we now have Hyper-V added to Windows 10. Open that folder and right click on VM create.exe. So right click on that and run as administrator, accept and say yes. So as you can see, we now fully have Hyper-V enabled on Windows 10. It has different options for us to create virtual machines. Don't forget that Hyper-V can only be enabled from Windows 10 Professional and later. So for example, Windows 10 Professional and higher version of Windows 10, you can enable Hyper-V. Any other version below Windows 10 Professional, you will not be able to enable Hyper-V on them. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, let me know in the link below. If you have any questions, leave the comment below. Also tell me if you have another way to enable Hyper-V on Windows 10. And I will see you next time.